Hi everyone. Thanks for letting me be involved in the survey, in the 360 survey of Highworth Community Church. It was a great privilege to read all that you'd said. And my aim now is just to give some general feedback, and there'll be some more specific feedback that I will talk through with the leaders. A lot of you filled it in, which is good. And generally the feel was you love being a part of the church. Notwithstanding, there are one or two that feel there are issues to be looked at. So it'd be good to do that, but this isn't the context to do for that. The first questions were really about COVID and how you processed it. And what I see is three groups of people. Some who COVID and the whole time raised issues of anxiety, tension, fear. And if you feel that, those are very, very genuine responses. Some, maybe those who are more introvert, found it a great time to read more, to study. And some of you felt very clearly that you had grown to know God a bit better during the time. And I think some are extroverts who found the whole thing fairly frustrating because you wanted to mix with people. And what I would say coming out of that is, one, let's understand that people will be carrying different baggage. And there will be some in the church who, because of their own health issues, because of other reasons, still carry some of that anxiety. And I think it's so important that we can be pastorally caring for them. It's not just the job of the leaders to do the pastoral work, it's what we do as a body. With regard to the meetings, again, people generally loved the meetings. For some, several people said what they would like is a bit more Bible teaching. Not that all the teaching isn't based on biblical material, but a lot is to do with exhortation. And yet some felt partly because that is their passion, but also because as you see newcomers come into the church who have got no biblical background, it's so important to lay biblical foundations for them. So that again is something we can be looking at. For some of you, you found a small group that has just met your needs. There were several who feel a bit disconnected and have felt that during lockdown, and clarity for them about how the home group structure works or where they can link in, again, is an issue to be looked at. And I think for some, it was just knowing how you express children's work, young people's work, especially those who've got young children. What is the church's response to helping parents bring up children? So I think you've got those sort of responses. As far as the leaders go, there was, again, a general, very warm response to the leaders. It does seem that a lot of you haven't had access to the leadership charter, which would be good to remedy. The concern was not that you didn't respect or value the leaders, but several of you were in fear of burnout for them. And there was a desire to see the leadership enlarge or the opportunity for more delegation. So the leaders, who are very busy people, have actually got a broader base with which to delegate. And I think with Matt and family going away for a few months, it will give an opportunity for some people, whether you're titled a leader or not, just to take steps to be there, to be available and to serve. Now, in terms of what you feel God is saying, there's a lot of general things, but the overall impression was you feel God saying, keep going, keep doing the things that you're doing, keep building a strong local community that reaches out and touches the Highworth and the world community. And I sense too, there was a real desire to be involved in that. Some people naturally find evangelism more difficult than others, but there was a sense of mission is so important. I think the overall thing that I come away with after reading them, but yes, there's some things that will be looked at and tweaked, but there's a general sense of there's a lot of people who want to serve the church. who want to passionately follow God, and the church has been a really good context for you to know and express that. Again, the overall impression is that people love the church, warts and all, and that is such a great place to move on from. Yes, we'll talk through in more detail. Yes, we'll just look at what issues people raise, what are individual issues or what are realistic issues for the whole body. I'll talk through that with the leaders, and I think that will be useful. But for now, I'm encouraged by your love for the church, your response, your desire to see one or two things tweaked and that will enhance the church. But there wasn't a critical spirit in any of the comments or questions, and that is sometimes rare but very precious in a church. That's a quick overview. Hope it helps, but thank you so much for filling in the forms. Thanks. Bye.
Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion